Somewhere in a coastal town in Malaysia, sitting quietly beside the South China Sea, there is a factory that the whole world secretly needs. Not oil, not gold. Something rarer than both. And right now, almost none of it comes from anywhere else on Earth outside China. Except here. If you are watching this from Malaysia right now, I want you to help me with something. My friend from Indonesia bet me that this channel wouldn't hit its first few thousand subscribers. He said nobody outside Malaysia would care about stories like this. I want to prove him wrong. If you're proud of what this country is quietly building, drop a Malaysia Boleh in the comments. Let's show the world that this story deserves to be heard. Assalamualaikum. Let's talk about Kuantan. Not Kuala Lumpur, not Penang, a quiet industrial town on Malaysia's east coast that most tourists never visit. But inside one 100-hectare compound there, workers are producing something that ends up inside roughly 1 in 3 electric vehicle motors sold on this planet. It's called Lynas, Malaysia, and it is the largest rare earth processing facility outside of China. Not one of the largest, the largest. Here's why that matters. Rare earth elements, with names like neodymium, dysprosium, terbium, are the invisible ingredients behind almost everything modern. Your smartphone, wind turbines, fighter jets, every electric car motor on Earth. And for decades, China controlled around 90% of the world's supply, refining almost all of it inside its own borders. That's not just a business advantage, that's leverage. In 2010, China cut off rare earth exports to Japan during a political dispute. In the years since, Beijing has tightened export controls again and again on the exact materials the rest of the world can't build anything without. But here's the crazy part. While the West spent years panicking about this dependency, Malaysia was quietly building the alternative. Ships arrive at Port Klang, carrying raw concentrate mined from Mount Weld in Western Australia, one of the richest rare earth deposits ever discovered. That ore travels to Kuantan, where Malaysian engineers crack it open with acid, separate it through dozens of precise chemical stages, and turn rock into some of the most valuable material on Earth. One 200-kilogram bag of finished neodymium praseodymium oxide leaving that plant is worth around 100,000 US. And this year, Lynas Malaysia did something no other company outside China has managed to do at commercial scale. It began separating heavy rare earths, dysprosium and terbium, the two elements with almost no substitute in the world's highest performance magnets. Sound familiar? It should. It's the same story Malaysia keeps quietly writing. Think about the MRT gliding beneath KL traffic, or CLIA processing more passengers than airports twice its size, or Merdeka 1118 rising as the second tallest building on the planet. Ever noticed how a country the world still sometimes underestimates keeps ending up at the center of the things everyone else desperately needs? And this is where things get interesting. In 2026, the government granted Lynas a 10-year license extension. And just months later, the United States Department of Defense signed a preliminary supply agreement anchored directly to this Malaysian facility. Not a plant in America, not one in Europe. Because right now, there is nowhere else at this scale to go. Malaysia isn't asking to be noticed anymore. It's already the answer. There are real questions here too, and they matter. About radioactive waste byproducts, about environmental oversight, about the true cost of being the world's alternative to China. Malaysia's regulators have required the company to phase out the most controversial part of the process by 2031. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a country navigating a genuinely difficult trade-off, in real time, on the world's behalf. But strip all of that back, and here's the larger truth. For 70 years, the story of global power ran through oil fields and factories in the West. The next 70 years might run through places like Kuantan, quiet, unglamorous, easy to overlook, and absolutely essential. Malaysia didn't ask for this role. It built the plant, refined the material, and let the rest of the world come find it. So maybe the real question isn't why the world hasn't noticed Malaysia yet. Maybe it's how much longer the world even has that choice. What do you think? Is Malaysia the quiet key to the next global power shift, or just getting lucky with geography? Tell me in the comments.